Hi there, my name is Peta, and today I will be speaking about the issues surrounding digital piracy and intellectual property theft for my ATS 2456 Cybercrime assessment. So for this presentation there will be two parts, just because the application that I'm currently using has a 10-minute time limit. So towards the end of this first part of the presentation there will be an external link that you can click and it'll easily just direct you to the second part of this presentation. Cool. So the reason as to why I choose this topic to speak about today is because I find it really interesting how digital piracy and intellectual property theft are crimes that are defined in official legislation. However, there isn't much of a stigma surrounding digital piracy in particular. It's one of those crimes that are very prevalent in society but are not recognised as punitively as others. So for this presentation, my argument is going to be that the social learning theory appropriately explains digital piracy and intellectual property theft with reference to the news article titled 12-Year-Old Sued for Music Downloading. Perfect. So firstly, I'm going to define the key concepts that I'm going to be speaking about today. So as you can see that I've highlighted the most important aspects of the definition. Intellectual property theft is a really important concept to understand just before we delve into digital piracy. So basically, intellectual property theft is defined as any intangible work or artistic endeavour created by an individual which has been fixed in some form or written down. So it essentially allows people to earn recognition or monetary benefit from what they've created. So they can protect their work legally through patents and copyrights so people don't steal their work and claim it as their own. So for example, Ed Sheeran. So though he's written many songs, he wrote this song titled Thinking Out Loud, so that has a copyright on it and therefore you can't copy that song and call it your own. So that would be classified, if you did do that, as intellectual property theft. So in this case, intellectual property theft can be defined as obtaining digital products without the author's permission. So this can include an intermediary stealing the product and redistributing it, which is more of an indirect process, which is not as common these days. But it can also include consumers stealing directly from producers or resellers and sharing it with other consumers, which is more common these days and is more of a direct process. Perfect. So now that we've got a hold on intellectual property, and what intellectual property theft means, we can define digital piracy. So I've added a funny photo here of a literal digital pirate, but that's not exactly what digital piracy is. So quite simply, digital piracy is defined as copying digital media illegally without explicit permission from the copyright holder. Cool. So this can include computer software, digital sound recordings, and digital video recordings. So referring to the last slide, this is basically taking that legally protected material without permission and using it by entertainment, for entertainment or any other purpose. Perfect. So just how prevalent is digital piracy? So I'm showing you this just to demonstrate that the significance of this issue surrounding digital piracy. So according to statistics, AFACT published a report which claimed that movie piracy cost the Australian economy $1.37 billion in lost revenue over a 12-month period in 2012. The total US sales of music CDs presented a 45% decline since 2000, and sales of downloaded singles increased by 27% and download albums by 32% in 2008. So these statistics basically signify that the growing use of internet and online retailing has greatly increased the opportunity for people to buy or steal intellectual property. So I also presented the last two statistics to raise the issue surrounding causation of decline in CD sales. So is it because people have stopped listening to music or people have stopped buying CDs and rather listen to iTunes? This is the issue surrounding digital piracy. Though there is a decline in sales, there is a massive issue surrounding proving that the decline in sales is as of a direct result from digital piracy, because you just can't prove it. Perfect. So just to clearly state the problems surrounding digital piracy, it's costing the Australian economy billions of dollars, thousands are losing jobs, it's hard to distinguish causation or blame, and it's having a direct, well, the industry is indirectly losing a lot of money. Perfect. So The newspaper I decided to talk about today is the 12-year-old sued for music downloading, a Fox News article. I couldn't find a more recent article that was best fit to what I'm talking about today. And this is just because digital piracy isn't condemned in society, and therefore there aren't as many cases where individuals are targeted specifically. I use this article because it provides a great basis to explain the social learning theory in relation to digital piracy, and will demonstrate the clear implications that we'll discuss a bit later from this article.